Flack math! Give me some math and I'll give you some flack. Flack math!
So don't forget, you only have one problem set due next week, but this is a test week. So if you do your practice test by Thursday,
we get 10 points.
Has anyone ever done the practice test by Thursday?
I'll do it every time.
You don't even do your normal test when it's due on time.
Credit because I do more. I'm gonna do it.
So do it. Just surprise me. Just be crazy.
Okay. Quirky,
Okay?
All right. And surprising.
All right.
So practice test. If you get it done by Thursday, bring it with you on Thursday. You get 5 points, extra credit to your test.
What about the other 5?
That's awesome.
Mr. Flack, is it possible to still get a B even though I got a 0 on a test that I didn't turn it in? Yeah, he'll drop it at the end.
Here's the deal. You can still do that test because I technically allow anyone to do a retake of the test. Okay? But if you wait too long on your homework, you can't get that 0 back.
Wait,
can't
so I
get
can still
that
do
back.
test 11?
Yes, you
I
can.
can still do test 11 also?
Please do it.
Oh, I see test 11. I have 65 in the class now. I have a 57 now. My grade went
All right. Hey, both of you know this material. So here's the deal. You both know all these concepts. So you'd always do pretty well on your tests. Sometimes you do well because you get it. But if you're not keeping up with your homework, you're not going to get it. So don't let missing tests and missing work bring your grade down. That's the dumbest thing you could do.
Okay, I'll do my test. I didn't know you were accepting that. Wait, what was Ben saying that you're gonna drop the lowest? He'll drop your lowest.
Yeah, drop the lowest test score. So I could drop that, but take it, and then I can drop another lowest test score. That's nice.
Oh, bet.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, bet.
So when you've got a number line,
Wait, what lesson is this?
so we're talking about positive numbers.
Okay. 70.
No, it's algebra.
Better not be doing numbers on multiplication or something. You better not be doing multiplication with negative numbers.
You got positive numbers over here. You've got negative numbers over here, right?
Mr. Flack,
Yep.
you made a mistake.
What?
You put the negative on the wrong side.
I believe that Xavier Dowdy is
right there?
counting in his math class.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
Here, let me show you.
Xavier Dowdy is currently
On the header. On the header. The negative is on the wrong side.
Xavier, that's what we like to call a string cap.
Do you like him there? Does that make you feel better? That's fine. Okay.
Mr. Flack, you made a mistake.
Yeah,
That's not a mistake.
You have to put an arrowhead on the other side so they
We do
switch.
not care.
Or
Otherwise,
I
it's
could
just
be
positive,
putting this over there.
Yeah. Where are you gonna put the
Xavier,
slack?
I like
Or you
where
could just
hey
like do the lesson.
Xavier, I like where your head's at. You're making
So
good
you could
choices.
get like
Remember, you're too loud. Without going through puberty, it's screeching to the ears.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't even hear him.
Okay. Positive numbers on the right, negative numbers on the left. You guys know this, right?
Yeah.
If this was a thermometer, right, it'd be positive numbers above and negative numbers below 0. Okay? So that's where we get this whole thing, where we've got 2 number lines. You got positive numbers on the right, negative numbers on the left, but you also got positive numbers above and negative numbers below, right? So every positive number has an evil twin.
Wait, what? An evil twin? Like Waluigi and Luigi? And Mario and Mario?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mario and Mario.
Like you and my brother?
Like Link and Shadow Link. Yep.
Okay, I got you.
All right. So every positive number has an opposite. So obviously we've got 4, -4, -7. The opposite is 7.
Whoa.
So you guys know this, right?
Left.
These are called integers. So when I do an absolute value, does anyone know what absolute value means?
Value that's absolutely.
Often you do this joke every
Just the
time.
value of the number, no matter
Every
if it's
time they
negative
ask
or not.
Okay, so what's the absolute value of -7?
7.
What's the absolute value of positive 7? 7. It's just 7. So here's a good way to define absolute value. Absolute value is the distance to 0. So how far is negative 7 from 0? 7 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 units, right? Well, that's the same thing. Same distance positive 7 is to 0, right? So when you find the absolute value of something, you're just taking away the sign. Xavier, obviously not okay. Sit down.
Hey.
Ben, put your legs on the floor.
Mr. Flack, do they force you to wear your mask even though you're social distance up there?
Yeah, because apparently when you're teaching, when you're speaking, you can spit up to 20 feet.
Stop
Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
So then why
Cap.
can't, wait, what?
So we can't spit.
We
on
could
me,
spit
but
20
because
feet.
you're a teacher.
Do you remember when we talked about decimals and I was spitting all day? You remember that?
Yeah.
I wasn't wearing a mask then. So congratulations, you could have gotten COVID.
We do not care. Wow.
That's
Right.
where I got it from. My math teacher.
It was a math.
Okay, so
Math
the way we denote an absolute value is with these big long lines that look like that. So absolute value of -4 equals
4.
4. Absolute value of positive 4 equals
Four.
4. It's just the distance to 0, right? So you take away a sign if there is a sign.
So it's positive.
If there's no
over time.
sign, it's just that. Let's put that away.
Gaming keyboard.
Congratulations. Does it light up in pretty colors? Does it have pretty colors that light up?
He brought his gaming setup.
No?
You guys
Okay.
did.
Yes.
What is the
Actually, yes. Oh, wait, no, it's not plugged in.
Shoot.
Okay, so guys,
What's it
Um,
called? The rainbow lights?
RGB.
you guys listening? You guys listening?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you are dealing with positive and negative numbers, sometimes it's helpful to think about the number line. So if I wanted to say 2 plus -3 on a number line, what's 2 plus -3?
2 minus 3.
Yeah, because a negative, and when you add a negative, you're going left.
It tipped up.
So there's 2, right? And then -3 is 1, 2, 3. So where do you end up?
-1.
Okay, so -3
Said that last year.
gives you -1. Now, this is one way to add positive and negative numbers. I don't particularly like this way. I like just sending them down to the battlefield. Question?
More of a joke,
Okay, let's hear
but
it.
it is technically a question.
Okay.
Mr. Flack, is your caps lock on? Because you're really kind of.
Oh, that was.
See?
Ow. Oh. My
We've all
head.
been moving in the battlefield.
That hurts.
All right.
my soul.
Speaking of the battlefield, this is what I think is a better way to add positive and negative numbers. So we've got an army of 2 positives battling up against an army of 3 negatives.
That's how I do it. That means the answer will be negative.
Who's gonna win?
The negative.
These are gonna die. These are gonna die. You're gonna be -1.
What?
Okay. Anybody play Risk?
Absolutely not.
I
Okay.
play
So
Warhammer.
when you
Yeah, we
play
didn't.
Risk,
At all.
like the actual board
Except
game
Risk.
Risk, not computer.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
It
Okay.
takes like 6 hours.
So you got like reds and blues, right? Let's say you've got, what is it? Like you got Spain.
Portugal.
You've got 30 blues on Spain and
There are
20 reds on France. So who's gonna win? If everybody has if the dice is like really fair and even, who's gonna
I'm
win?
Taking the blue.
The blue.
The blues are gonna win by 10, right? You're gonna have 10 blues left on the board. So adding positive, negative numbers it's easier to think of it like that. So just let them fight. What happens if you have 10 blues and 20 blues next to each other? Are they going to fight?
Well,
No,
no.
they're going to join forces, aren't they? Okay.
I'm 30.
So let me do a couple more. Let's just do one more example. What happens if you send all these guys down to the battlefield? You ready? Let's let these guys fight. Here's example 2. I'm going to let these guys fight.
Bro, why are you putting parentheses to make it complicated?
Whoa.
What happens when they fight? What do you get?
0.
That's right. Okay, I mean, you can have these guys join forces.
The answer is
That's
0.
3. Have these guys join forces. And before they fight, it's not, let's build up your armies as much as you can. 3 plus negative 3, they cancel, you get 0. Okay? Do you guys have questions with this? Do you guys feel like you can do
your
this?
problem set like big numbers?
Okay, let's come back to that. Let's put a pin in that. So this leads us to lesson 60, to lesson 70, which talks about just the rules of adding signed numbers. So when I say signed numbers, that could be negative or it could be positive. Okay, does anyone have a good summary of how to add signed numbers?
Like the autograph sign?
Pew shake.
Austin doesn't know.
So here's the rules for adding.
Clan Gucci game.
Oh
Where's the
no.
phone? Where is it? Hand it over.
Where's the
Funny?
money? Do you have any money?
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
Give me the funny in the register right now. Hey, you want to watch your funny Disney?
okay, when you add two numbers, if you have like signs, what's gonna happen?
Big number.
They're gonna like each other.
Yep, so are they gonna fight?
No.
No.
They're gonna join forces.
That's right. So it's like either a positive plus a positive or a negative plus a negative. You add and keep the same sign, right?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
so confused at this point.
So what happens if you have unlike signs?
They kill each other.
They kill each other, so what ends up happening?
Whoever has more wins.
You subtract, right, you subtract
They go shame.
You subtract the absolute values and then you keep the sign of whoever has more, the greater. And keep greater sign. Now technically, guys, listen. Technically, I should say this. I should say you add the absolute values and keep that same sign. You subtract the absolute values and keep the sign of the greater absolute value. So for example, if I had -5 plus 3, well, I subtract 5 minus 3 is 2, but I'm going to keep the sign of not the greater number, because which number is greater?
3.
3 is greater than -5 because it's a positive. All positive numbers are greater than negative numbers, right?
Yeah.
But this has this negative. This is the greater absolute value.
-2.
So the answer is -2. So we keep the sign of the greater absolute value.
You know what I did? What I got taught to do?
What's that?
I look at the sign, and the sign's positive, plus, and then I look at the number, and if it's positive or negative, then I add them up. So, and I know what direction it goes.
Okay, good. And we all have the different ways we do this. And obviously, if you did this on a calculator and you entered it correctly, it would give you the right answer. But these are just rules that you need to know. And that's all we need to do.
Black math, give me some math and I'll give you some flack. Black math.